Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. And it is the day after Christmas, so we got you a gift. We've got 5 decks for you. We're going to kick off with a tournament winner, and we've even got the return of the custom card challenge. We're going to kick it off with the deck that went undefeated in Brooklyn. This is Denman Falcon's deck. We had a live tournament this past Sunday. Denman Falcon took this list and won a tournament. Those of you who watch every video might notice we had a fairly similar deck that won another tournament from No Lucks Given. Part of the reason we're showing this to you right now is that next week is Infinity Conquest week, and I think that this is the very best deck for that format. This deck is extraordinarily hard to play around. It's not a cheap deck, but if you can get to it, you've got something that's really, really tough to beat. You can find Denman Falcon at youtube.com/@DenmanFalcon, and he just started streaming on Twitch. Once he gets settled into Twitch, we're going to do some giveaways on his channel, so you might want to go check him out over on Twitch. As long as you're following him, you'll be there when we'll kick those giveaways off because I want to support my guy. This deck needs only really Wiccan. If you have Fenris, you need Gladiator. If not, Mirage and Speed, Nocturne, kind of whatever good three with your 2 drop are fine. You need either Kate Bishop or Penny Parker. You don't need both, but you do need one. One can be Mirage or Mordo or Jeff. Gore or Eliath can be Magneto or Red Hulk. And that's basically how this works. Cool. You need some decent high series stuff here, but the real thing that makes this deck sing is Wiccan. When Wiccan goes off, it is a very, very hard to beat deck. And when Wiccan doesn't go off, you still have Falcon crush Brooklyn. If you want to see a competitive Marvel Snap, check the VOD on twitch.tv/powerongaming, where you can see me doing commentary and playing in the post finals extra match if you're interested. So please check that out. Make sure you follow Power On as well. Turn 1, you want to play Quicksilver. Turn 2 is Penny or Kate if you need a 3. Um, if not, feel free to drop Fenris. If you already have Gladiator Negasonic in hand, you can just get Fenris out on the board. It is reasonably often, if I'm pretty sure my opponent's not playing junk, or even if it's just a cold ladder game, I will play Fenris on the Quicksilver. That protects Fenris from the one card that's really, really dangerous for it, or one of the 2 cards that's really, really dangerous for it, Red Guardian. That other card being Lady Deathstrike. Turn 3, you want Gladiator over Negasonic, or you can play a 2+1, or you can just drop Spider. Spider's perfectly fine here. There are no 5 drops, though, so you're not ramping with Spider. Although, if you do drop a Spider, you can then go like Gladiator and Kate on the next turn, or Gladiator and Fenris on 4, which is perfectly fine. Turn 4, you want Wiccan, or generally speaking, a 2+2. Turn 5 is 3+, and that 3 can be plus another 3 if you played Wiccan, or it could be plus a 2 drop. Note this is your last Fenris turn. You can go something like Negasonic and Fenris and Kate Bishop or N Penny here, which is just a ton of power, or you can just drop Gore Goliath if you played Wiccan. And turn 6 is Gore Goliath, whichever one you think wins the game. And please don't forget to activate your Fenris Wolf. Again, this list is absolutely insanely good. I think this is the single best tournament list in Marvel Snap right now. Infinite Conquest is next week. Try this list. And thank you for trying out this video. We're going to ask you to hit that sub button if you haven't yet. We are at 16,000 subs. We're trying in 2025 to hit 25,000 subs, so we need your support. In return, we're going to do 7 days a week of Marvel Snap videos, and we are giving away our last copy of Galacta this week. Next week, we'll be giving away Iron Patriot. All you have to do is sub, like, and then later this video, I'm going to actually leave a comment. That comment enters you to win Galacta. Next week, if you're looking for that Iron Patriot, you'll have 5 videos with 5 chances to get that Iron Patriot. Our next deck is from our friend Gregor2424, and I want to take a quick moment to talk about Bruce Banner. So, the deck I featured with Bruce Banner yesterday is the one I've played the most so far, and I'm having a massive amount of success with it. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Bruce seems really, really good in this deck. Is he a card that you should go out of your way to get? No, I don't think so. I think he's a fundamentally replaceable card, but uh, on the podcast, in speculating about him, someone said that this is likely to be one of the worst cards of 2024. He's definitely not that. This is a decent little card. It is vulnerable with Red Guardian everywhere, and sometimes it doesn't do what you want. You're going to lose some extra cubes. But sometimes it sort of pops off in ways that your opponent must always be thinking about, must always be considering, and it can win you games of Marvel Snap. Bruce is a decent card. I don't think you should open for him right now, and we're not doing our top player thoughts until tomorrow. We're not doing a recommendation until tomorrow. But I think I feel relatively safe saying that if you need Evo and Ravona, then Bruce is perfectly fine to get along the way. This deck from Gregor is also a really, really cheap deck that if you do open for Bruce, you can get this high Evo, and then all of a sudden you have a full deck. You don't need anything else high series. The only other high series things even here are Nebula and Copycat, and as such, you should be able to play this list like to great effect without that. This list has just straight up worked. You can find Gregor playing this and many more lists at twitch.tv/Gregor2424. This deck only really needs Evo. Again, if you already have Evo, if you already have Ravona, don't feel the need to open for Bruce for this. Bruce helps, but he is not required. Nebula can be Hydra Bob or just a 2-drop. Bruce can be Shocker, you have Evolutionary or Scorpion. And Copycat can be Marvel Boy, Red Guardian, or Rogue. The logic for Marvel Boy here, by the way, is that you have Sunspot, Nebula, and Misty. If you do add Marvel Boy and you own Kate Bishop, Kate's a really good 2 replacement as well. Red Guardian's great in the meta right now, Rogue is great in the meta right now. This is both one of the cheapest deck and really good. Everyone that always says like Evolutionary is underpowered right now, I think they're overstating it. I don't think it's one of the top 10 or maybe even 15 decks in the game, but is it a deck I feel comfortable playing? I'm ranked, I don't know, 70-ish on the Infinite Leaderboard right now. Yeah, I feel comfortable playing it. I don't feel like I'm overmatched. I don't feel like I'm playing one of the best decks, but I feel like I'm playing a deck that can compete with anything when it goes well, and I feel like you can easily hit Infinite and climb with this. This is a good deck. Turn 1, you want Nebula over Sunspot or Misty. Nebula is sort of extra here. She is very unimportant. She is just a card you play in 1 because you know your opponent will play there, and that makes your Cyclops better and your later thing better. Turn 2, you want Bruce or ones. Turn 3, Bruce is still perfectly fine, right? And then you can go Cyclops. So there's a reasonable play line where you end up going Misty into Sunspot into Bruce into Cyclops, which is perfectly fine. That's just giving you plenty of chance to trigger Bruce, and Misty's adding power, and Sunspot's adding power. Like that's your like ideal line. If you have no reason to float because you've gone like Sunspot into I don't know, armor into um like a I don't know, just copycat, then you might as well just play Thing on turn 4. But generally speaking, you want it to be the other way. You want to go Cyclops over Bruce, and ones, and then Thing if you have no reason to float. Turn 5, you can continue the floating Thing with just the Thing. You can also feel free to play Cyclops here. Cyclops only getting 1 trigger is bad though. You're now playing 5 energy for 5 power, which is not a good rate. Try and keep Cyclops' rate in mind as you play him. If you play him on 4, you're very often getting 8 power out of him, which is perfectly viable because it is also making Abomination cheaper. Turn 6, your goal is to play Hulk and Abomination, and ideally you've transformed another Hulk, and then you should be able to win. After this cheap one, which is why we're featuring it so heavily today, we're going to look at a slightly more expensive one, but one that's been even more successful. This one has absolutely been crushing both ladder and conquest. But first one, let's look at the Gregor 24241 one. I know a lot of Series 3 people, earlier collection level people, watch these videos. If you are one of those people, this one's for you, my friends. Although, again, it's good for everyone. Like, don't feel bad playing this. Our question for those of you who are attempting to win the season pass is, what are your first impressions of Bruce? Have you seen it? How has it felt? If you haven't seen it, you can just tell me what you thought of it and what you're thinking. We're gonna do top player thoughts tomorrow. The way I get top player thoughts is I literally just message a bunch of top players that I know and go, hey, what do you think of Bruce Banner? Well, I didn't want to do that because as of recording, it's Christmas and I didn't want to bother people on Christmas. Another thing to note, please check out a stream at twitch.tv/PulseGlazer where I stream multiple days a week. I'm streaming usually 4 or 5 days a week. Tonight we are recording the podcast live on Twitch. So if you'd like to see the Snap Judgments podcast be recorded live, please make sure you're there on Twitch at about 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Next up, we have Obi-Brunk. This is our friend Obihaved's deck, and this is a slightly more expensive build, but it is real powerful. It's also, you'll note, not using Evolutionary, so you have to make Bruce choices, but you should still be totally fine. Luna Snow adds a lot to the way this works, as does the potential She-Hulk Infinite. This list has a ton of power and a ton of different play lines to work through. You can find Obihaved at twitch.tv/Obihaved. Do go check out our friend as he tries to meet uh, the requirements for Twitch partner. This deck needs 2 high series cards. Bruce is not one. It needs Galacta and War Machine. Nebula can be Iceman. Perfectly fine. Nebula can also be the card I'm actually going to replace Nebula with when I play this more. I played this a little bit. I liked it. But I'm going to play a little more. And Nebula is going to be Zabu for me. Um, Bruce can be Psylocke, Cable, or Mirage. Feel free to change for any. Ms. Marvel can be Omega Red. That is the standard replacement. Also, feel free to try out Captain Marvel there. Luna can be Hope or Psylocke. Luna is actually really important. This is one of the decks where Luna has felt better and more pivotal thus far. So this one, Obi has already gotten 3 Infinity tickets with and gained 2,000 rank on the Infinite leaderboard. So this is a legit list. Cool. Turn 1, you want Nebula over Sunspot. Turn 2, Bruce over 1-drop. Turn 3, Luna over Bruce. Turn 4, if you can drop Galacta, do so. If not, Ms. Marvel is fine, so is just playing Luna, especially if you have Bruce out. Now you can take that extra chance for energy. If you went Luna on 3, you can still Galacta on 4 and take that extra energy. Turn 5 is either War Machine or Pass almost always, as long as you have She-Hulk anyway or Infinite. Turn 6, She-Hulk and Infinite. If you had Luna out, you can now play that 0-10 with Infinite, or you can play She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel and save that extra 2 energy, for example, to buff a Sunspot and give yourself an extra Bruce chance. Make sense? This is really, really, really good. I think that this list offers a ton of play lines, a ton of power. Ms. Marvel is a cube stealer right now. There's junk in the meta, but not a crazy amount of junk. You should be able to have a lot of success with this list. Your opponents are going to try and counter you in a million different little ways. Cosmo and Armor are going to handle that. This is going to be a list I take into Infinity Conquest next week without any question, because I don't know how aware you are of this, but Infinity Conquest, there is a whole group of players that always, always, always brings Destroy in to the meta. And those Destroy bros are going to be running into my Cosmo and Armor, and good luck beating me then. You also have note not on the turn line is Magic. Magic is fine sort of whenever 3 to 5. If you don't see the Luna Snow and you want to do the She-Hulk Infinite thing, you just play Magic and then the problem solves itself. Cool. Hey, we have the return of the custom card challenge. This is from our old friend Drewberry. Perhaps you remember Drewberry. He used to be the king of new Marvel Snap content and the king of custom card content. We do some occasional custom card challenges. This one was Christmas. People had to make Christmas cards. And our first winner is Leo Chase, the Mythmaster, who created a Scrooge. And yes, that is that Scrooge. If you can figure out why this is the Scrooge that makes me so happy, and say so in the comments, maybe you'll get a little bonus in that season pass giveaway. This Scrooge has the ability activate. Next turn, gain energy equal to the total unspent energy of both players. That's pretty cool, right? You get that energy as for anything they've skipped the whole game. So that seems like it's really good with Sunspot. Like you skip with Sunspot and then you activate, you can get that energy back. They're pumping up a Red Hulk, or you've got a Red Hulk and you get that extra energy there. This can come out a turn early with Zebu and Psylocke. It's activate, so you don't have to feel like you're in any rush, but you do want to get it down because it's not the best stats. Evo decks where you're passing, you can get all that energy back at the end of the game for a super exclusive turn. And obviously, Bruce Banner would absolutely love this card. Props to Leo Chase, props for this really cool idea. I'm not sure if this would be broken or not. There were a lot of broken ideas this week. Um, Tip for those of you trying to win, lower the power level a little and I'm more likely to pick it. But this is a really, really cool and powerful list. Speaking of incredibly powerful freaking cards, this is Elsa from the artist. On reveal, freeze an enemy card here with a trigger ability, and that would be generally speaking something like Doom 2099, Galacta, or Elsa Bloodstone, not something that's on reveal, not something that's ongoing. So you play it in the location, and then it just freezes that. When its effective trigger, it triggers through Elsa instead. So if your opponent plays one card that next turn, your Elsa is going to give you a Doombot. If your opponent plays a card in a different location, Elsa is going to give that card the buff. I think that's really, really cool. It's really thematic to Elsa. That makes a lot of sense to me. This is another one that you really wouldn't hate to get out with Zebu or Psylocke, though it's going to depend what your opponent's playing, right? This could be useless in some games, but I think this is a very, very cool tech card. I think that it's fair that this hit activate also, although at that point they would never activate it, so I guess not maybe. But either way, even just freezing that activate or freezing that triggered ability makes Elsa a very powerful card, and it's something that I think would really help the meta. The artist, as always, has a couple of extra variants for us for Elsa. Love the like stylizing of the word Elsa and great variants. So these are 2 winners for the week. We're going to do another custom card challenge in a couple weeks because, well, I had an idea I liked. So this one's going to be due on 1/5/25. The year being 25 breaks my brain a little bit. Shh, it's fine. The keyword is going to be add a card and the theme is going to be Avengers. I don't want you to create a new Marvel snap card. I want you to take a Marvel snap card that is in the Avengers that is a series 1, 2, or 3 card, and then I want you to create a basically Series 5 version that works like the new Captain America Falcon that's going to come out in February, where it adds a card to your hand to the deck. Think of what Mjolnir does. Think of what the new Captain America Shield will do. I want you to create something like that. So you're going to create sort of two cards. You're going to create that new Avenger. It could be Iron Man and his armor, for example. Uh, a newer Series 5 Thor and Mjolnir that would work for previous Thors. Something along those lines. That's what you're going to create. If you want to participate, join Drewberry's Discord. It's linked in the description of this video. And if you want to make your own cards in general for this, check snaptracker.me/custom. All right, next up we have Space, the return of Space, one of the best deck builders around. He's created this list that is floating around High Infinite. This is a Daredevil Supergiant version of the Ajax list, and this brew of the deck has been really, really powerful, and thus we felt like we had to feature it. I know players like Toxic Soul King have been absolutely crushing with this one. Space is not on any socials, but you can find him in multiple streams, including mine if you'd like to find him. This deck needs Ajax, Supergiant, and US Agent. Red Guardian, it can be Rogue as general. As is generally the case, Red Guardian is better. That's why these are replacements. Replacement doesn't mean this card is as good. It means the deck is still playable without. It will be weaker, but you'll be fine. Hydra Bob can be Iceman or Zabu. I think Zabu is where I would go personally. Sage can be Wolfsbane or Juggernaut. And Man-Thing can be Galacta. Cool. I know that's a Series 4 to Series 5 replacement, but at least you could just buy one of them. All right, so turn 1, you want Bob. Turn 2, Daredevil over US Agent. Turn 3 is Daredevil over Luke over Negasonic. Turn 4, Supergiant over Man-Thing. Turn 5, you can play Ajax, but generally speaking, what you would prefer to do is you would like to go Negasonic in the lane that blows up the thing they played. That's what Daredevil is for. Or Shadow King along with US Agent and Hazmat. Sorry, or US Agent and Hazmat, and then you're going to play Ajax on 6. The Hazmat's going to reveal. The Shadow King or Negasonic are going to reveal and win you the game, and that Ajax is going to win a lane. If you just play Ajax on turn 5, because you're not always going to see Supergiant, then you go something like Man-Thing and a 2 to end the game. And obviously the 2 could be Hazmat, the 2 could be Shadow King, or the 2 could be US Agent, as the meta defines, as the matchup defines. One last look at this one. It's a really, really cool list. I hope you do check it out. Again, this is about as good as Supergiant has ever been. She is a card that is in and out of the meta. This is not a card you want to go out of your way to buy, but if you have Supergiant, play this really cool deck. If you'd like to see gameplay for all these decks, it is Thursday, so the King of Canada will be streaming. Please do go check out our friend King of Canada at about 12 p.m. Eastern playing these decks, and don't forget to check us out tonight. Next up, we have OG Sandman. This is from our friend FaThorNewman. You should know FaThorNewman from being amazing on Twitch and YouTube and a general all-around awesome human being. He loves Sandman, and he basically built an OG Sandman deck with Doom 2099, and he's having massive success. He climbed back into top 2,000 with this list, and it's doing really great. Please do check out FaThorNewman at twitch.tv/thatname. He's also over on YouTube at the same name. The only high series card you need here is Doom 2099. Nebula and Nico can be Zabu and Iceman. Again, I think it should be Zabu. Nico's real power here is to take care of Electro. You do want to play Electro, but if you can turn Electro into a demon, or you can blow up Electro to draw 2, that's better. Blink can be Mobius, Crystal, or Iron Lad. Blink is a consistency piece. Iron Lad and Crystal are consistency pieces. Mobius is just good if you're going to play a Sandman and might want to play multiple cards at the end of the game. This is a deck that Newman went 18-11 with, which is 62% win rate. Nebula is generally the turn 1. You would play Nico if it's Destroy or Demon, and you have Electro or Psylocke in hand. Turn 2, Psylocke if Doom 2099 or Jubilee are in hand, and that's better than a 1-drop. Turn 3, Doom 2099 over Electro over Wave. Turn 4, Doom 2099 over Doom if you played Wave over Jubilee. You generally speaking, you can play Blink on Electro here. I guess that's fine too. Turn 5 is Blink if Jubilee. Doom if you Electro or you can play Magneto or Doom that turn. And Sandman is just a good play. Turn 6, Odin on Doom. Or you can just drop Doom. Or you can drop Magneto. Then you usually win. This is a lot of power. This is very much like old school Sandman, where it's just consistent power across the board. This is a deck that wins a lot of games of Marvel Snap. Questions of the day, and then we're going to head out of here. Our first question is from Kanako Cat, and he asks if the game is finally cooked. I don't think so. I think we're actually going to see a mini renaissance in Marvel Snap in 2025. Maybe that's end of the year optimism, maybe not, right? But I truly believe that they all hands on deck and have actually fixed card acquisition, which means that new players will join the game and old players will be able to return. I think the gameplay is so good that people really do want to return and new players are likely to stick around if they can get the damn cards. And as such, I don't think the game is cooked. I think we will be getting draft mode. I think we'll be getting several modes. I think that they've figured out how to actually be generous finally, even if it's only with cards like Elsa and the update and spotlights. I do think that this is going to work out long term. Start to get optimistic. I don't think everything's going to be perfect, right? Don't get hyped. We know Character Master is coming in February, right? I don't know if you know this, but they announced Character Master is coming in February, and the way they announced it was basically going, "Hey, we're gonna let this come out in February, not January, because we don't want to overwork people over Christmas." I mean, they're bad at this, right? Like, cause they should probably just chill out and be like, "Hey, character mastery is coming in February," because they didn't give us a firm date. They said they'd try for January, right? Just say it's coming in February. We got it ready. Get excited. And now then it's a super positive thing. But they frame things weirdly and badly. And if they ever get through that thing, and they actually have so many good things in this game, I think it's going to be great. Drive Start asks what decks are annoying to play against. And like, honestly, arishem. I don't love playing against move bounce. It's really, really frustrating. But generally speaking, arishem is the right answer here. Quick reminder to people who are going through Series 3, who are grinding their way through Series 3. If you are having trouble building decks, finding stuff, check out our Discord where there's a spot where on stream I will make you at least 4 or 5 new decks and give you some suggestions for card acquisition. Certain tiers of support on our Patreon, the $10 tier, in fact, come with on-air thanks and an exclusive video once a week. I'd like to say thank you to Abigail Gieson, Mandatory Burnout, Irregardless, David G. Wingfield, Dirty Casual, Danton, LAB, FaThorNewman, Good Dog Gamer, Inc., I Am Frostman, Jean Laverit, YOLO Potato, Thinking Poker, Primed Ryan, Ryan Burke, Ryan Wood, Kirtix Lee, Corey Ray, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Pyrofros, The Goat Seeker, Hollowed, Quid Pro Joe, Snap Decisions Joe, Fat Nick, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philip Bracco, Haplo, Kenny Loggins of the Danger Zone, Rob Silverman, The Bizza, Black Jeebus 23, Extras V and Skippy G, Jessica Gamble, Tommy Nyquist, who won Snap Judgments League Season 1, The King of Bros, Rup, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kevsey Hoda, Lunar Chris, Corwin, John Q, Jim McHugh, Clam, Colonel Forbin, Yistout, Eighth Sage, Mod Supreme, Models, uh, you need to message me, Models, as does Brian Kaufman, I believe. Green Goblin, Unibot, Flom56, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Tristan H. Martin, Jason B, Jake D. McDonaldinho, The Fuzzy Dollop, Spectrum Mix, Hoot, Matt H, DJ, Mikey Hijinks, No Frickin' Flex, Ocularis, who's carrying me on his back, my friends, Mr. Craig Sterry, BG, Zodrex, the King of Canada, Deadman Falcon, Denman Falcon, who's streaming on Twitch and YouTube, by the way, Jonesy, the Great Two Ties, the Pirate, the Pirate King Lauren, the Pirate King Lauren Whatevs. Yeah, you're a Pirate King now, Lauren. The Great Tuccrr, who's not a Pirate King today. Hope you had a good one, Tuck. And of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for. This group of people has been carrying me on their fucking back for months now, and I can't say thank you enough. All right, y'all. Much love, much appreciation. Thank you for everything. I will see you tomorrow for another Snap Take. I know it's a holiday and stuff, but we don't miss days. So chill out, get ready for at least 3 new decks tomorrow, just like we do every day. You can sub by hitting that button right in the middle of the screen. You can check out some other great videos if you want to see some more on the left and the right. Peace.